don't know about you, but I have been thinking about retirement a lot lately, and I'm being completely honest. Retiring at 65 don't seem like the move for your girl. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing how I'm planning for retirement at 41. Let's get right into it. Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Nikki. If you are returning, welcome back. Now I'm going to share a very personal story because I think this plays a part in why I'm thinking the way I'm actually thinking. Now, if you follow me from the very beginning when I started my YouTube channel back in 2020, in 2019, my mom passed in July, and she didn't have any life insurance or any savings, and neither did I. And that prompted me to get my finances in order because I got two kids, and me trying to figure out a funeral arrangement for my mom, and she didn't have no money, I didn't have no money. It was an experience that I never want to go through ever again. But that prompted me to start showing up online, getting control of my finances, saving money, budgeting, all of the things when it comes to just managing my finances. Now, when I think about my mom, she passed away when she was 59 years old. So she didn't even experience a retirement whatsoever. She was still working before she actually passed. And in the hospital, she was still worrying about her job because she was missing so many days of work. And she was just wondering, do I still got a job? Do I still got a job? And in my mind, I'm just like, you are sick. Forget that job. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't want to be like that. If something happens with me where I'm in a hospital or I have to miss days or I have to handle some business when it comes to my health and my well-being, I don't want to have to think about if I got a job or not, or if I have enough money to pay my bills or not. I don't want to have to think about that. And what was the icing on the cake is when my dad passed. Now, my dad passed this year in 2026 in the month of March. My dad was 68 years old. He was able to experience retirement. But he was forced to actually do it because he was sick. As you may know, or maybe you don't know, my dad had cancer. So it was like he was forced to retire and be able to collect his Social Security and stuff like that. He did not want to retire. I asked him, I'm like, Dad, you are retired. You're supposed to be enjoying yourself. You got this money over here. Like, you don't have to work. He said, no, retirement is for y'all. And I feel like older people, I feel like they feel like they have to work for the rest of their life. They feel like retirement is just for the young people and stuff like that. Like, no, I got to continue on working. And when my dad passed at 68 and he was able to experience some type of retirement, but forcefully, it just was a wake-up call for me because it's like, you know what? I don't want to be thinking about no job when I'm retired, especially at 68 years old. I want to be able to do things that I want to do. I don't want to be forced to sit out. I want to experience life. And now I look at both of them because both of them passed at such different ages. 59, my mom, I don't even know if she was able to do all of the things that she wanted to do and accomplish all of the dreams that she had, or whatever like that. My dad, I feel like he did do some things with his life and did accomplish some things and did have fun and stuff like that. But I felt like he still had life in him where he could have done more. I would love to see him have more fun, if that makes sense. So it just makes me look at my life and just makes me get my things in order. So that way, when I can say, you know what, I get sick and I don't want to have to go back to work, I don't have to. Or if something happens with my kids and I have to be out for a certain period of time, extended period of time, I can. I don't have to worry about, if my bills gonna get paid. Oh, if I'm gonna have a job. Oh, I went to the doctor and now I'm on bed rest. I can't get out of bed, or I gotta do whatever the thing is where I gotta now take care of myself. I don't want to have to worry about a job, or if I have a job, or if I have the money to actually pay whatever it is that I'll have to pay. So here's the things that I am actually doing to prepare or plan or whatever for retirement at 41, because to be completely honest, I already feel like I'm behind. I have been working for a very long time, or making money for a very long time, and I was not saving a dime. I didn't start saving money till probably like around my late 30s, being completely honest. And I just feel so far behind. I'm going to be completely honest. about that. But better late than never, and to just not do anything. So I'm happy that I finally started. I'm happy that I'm taking initiative and just doing something, because doing something is better than doing nothing at all. So the first thing I am doing, of course, I'm working my full-time job. And with me working this full-time job, me as a regular carrier, I am able to have more benefits than I would have as a CCA, because that's what I started out as. Everybody starts out as a CCA first, and then once you become regular, meaning that you get your own route, your own assignment, you become full-time and you get better benefits. So the first thing that I am actually doing is I am contributing to my pension. So right now, my job is postponing them investing into our pension. So the only thing that I can do with the pension is I can pay into it, but my company is not paying into it right now because of everything that's going on. Of course, everybody's trying to cut some expenses somewhere. People are trying to save money. I don't necessarily know if they're gonna start back contributing to the pensions or whatever like that, but I am happy that they did give us the option to continue to contribute in or pay into it. So that's a plus. So I am contributing into my pension. I don't know the percentage that I'm contributing because I don't get to choose the percentage. I want to say it's 4% that I am contributing inside of that pension, but I'm not sure, because again, they don't necessarily say how much it actually is. They just take the amount out. Now, the amount that comes out of my retirement or from my pension is $119.29. I'm looking over because I have it written down. $119.29 every single time that I am paid. So I'm still paying into my pension. The next thing that I am doing is I am taking advantage of my thrift savings plan, or TSP. You may hear me call it TSP because that's what it stands for. Thrift savings plan. It's just like a 401k if that's what you have at your office. But because I am a federal employee, I have a TSP, and I am contributing 8% of my income to my TSP, and my company is matching 5%. That's the max that they're going to match. So I am getting around 13% into a TSP. And inside of that TSP, I am doing different investment, telling that money where to actually go, in hopes that that money will continue on making money over the time span that I am actually there. Now, my goal for my TSP, anytime that we get raises, a lot of the time we get around 4 different raises, 2 cost of living adjustment, we get a contractual raise every single year, and we get our step increase every, I want to say 42, 46, somewhere around there. Don't hold me to it because I don't really like keep track of it. They just send us a letter and let us know, okay, you just got a raise, or this is happening, or whatever like that. And then once that takes place, I just go in and I make adjustment. So anytime that I get a little raise, or anytime that I'm kind of like cutting some expenses somewhere, I have been allocating that money somewhere else. So because I am doing 8%, whenever I get a raise again, I will do 9%, and so forth and so on, because I know how to live off the lowest amount that I've ever received from my job. I try not to do the lifestyle creep thing where when you make more money, you're going out and buying more things. I typically don't do that. The only thing that I really spend my money on is food. I like shoes. Shoes are like my it's like my little thing or whatever. Mine has been so focused on just like really the investing or whatever. So I would rather send my $140, $50 to my brokerage account than going out and buying a pair of sneakers. It's like that phase of my life is actually over. And plus I got a whole lot of shoes that I can actually wear. So I don't really focus on that anymore. But that is like, I really do love sneakers. Now the next thing that I am actually doing is I am contributing to my Roth IRA. Now I have 2 different Roth IRAs, one through my job, which I just signed up for that because that also has a life insurance policy with it that earns cash value with it, and I'm just doing the bare minimum, $56 a pay period into that Roth IRA. And then the other Roth IRA that I'm doing is through Fidelity, and I'm maxing that, well, not really maxing it out, because of course, since I got 2, the max goes for both of them. So it's not like you can have a Roth IRA over here and do the $7,000 or $7,500 right here and then go get another Roth IRA and do $7,500. No, the total for a Roth IRA in general is $7,500, if I'm not mistaken. Don't hold me to it, but I think it's $7,500. And sometimes every year it changes, sometimes it stays the same. But in 2025, I did max that out with the Roth IRA on Fidelity. And then in 2026, I'm going to do the same exact thing. But now I have to combine it since I do have this other Roth IRA through my job. Now, the difference with the TSP and the Roth IRA with, with the outside Roth IRA, it's not really through my job. It just comes out of my paycheck as an allotment. And then the Roth IRA with Fidelity, the TSP, that is money that has not been taxed yet. So when I have to pull that money out, when I retire or whenever, I plan on just leaving my job, that money is going to have to be taxed. And then I think there's an age requirement with pulling it out as well. I want to say the lady told me 59. You got to wait at least 59 years of age. I'm not exactly sure, so don't hold me to that because I don't know all about the retirement just yet. I'm not the retirement guru. These are just things that I'm just trying to, prepare for, and I got to learn a little bit more about it. And with the Roth IRA outside of my job that is coming out of my allotment and the one through Fidelity, that is money that has already been taxed. So once I'm able to pull money from that, it's already been taxed. I don't have to pay any taxes on that money. So that's the difference between the two. The TSP, I'm going to have to pay taxes on it when that money comes out. The Roth IRA, I do not. Now, I am doing $500 a month with the Roth IRA through Fidelity. And again, $56 per pay period with the one that comes, that's within my job. It's contracted through my job. It's not literally, through my job. The next thing that I am doing is still saving for emergencies and short-term savings and stuff like that. So any vacations I have coming up, any, renovations that I want to do, any thing that may happen to my house, because let's just be honest, it's not if something is going to happen, it's when something is going to happen, because something is eventually going to happen, whether you get a flat tire, whether something, the AC goes out, whether something happened with kids and they need something is always going to come up where you didn't actually plan for it in your budget. And I'm doing $500 a month in a high yield savings account, so not in my regular savings, but in a high yield savings account. And I am doing that through LI because LI allow you to create different buckets. So I can have $50,000 in this high yield savings account, which I don't recommend. $50,000. I don't even know my number. Y'all let me know down below. What's your number? Like, what's the most amount of money you think someone should keep in their high yield savings account? Because before I have been thinking, you know what, let me have a year worth of bills and expenses. So that way, if something happens and I have to pull out a big chunk of money, I still will have a large sum of money over there. Or if something happens with my job and I need to sit out for a while, instead of me pulling from my retirement, I can be pulling from my high yield savings account and at least be able to pay my bills for the next year or whatever. But let me know, what do you think, like the most amount of money, what's the smartest move when it comes to having the most amount of money sitting in a high yield savings account? Now, with the high yield savings account that I have, I use Ally, and I think the interest on that is 3%. So I get a small, I get a couple of dollars for having money sitting over there in this high yield savings account. And again, I love the fact that I can allocate or say where all of this money is going. I can see the total amount and I can say, okay, well, I have $10,000 over here. Okay, $2,000 is for, like small emergency. $5,000 is, for my emergency fund. $2,000 is for whatever I want to be, for traveling. Like, I love the fact that you can do buckets over there with Ally. So if you are interested in Ally, I'm going to tag them down below. The next thing that I am doing, if you see me looking over here, is because I got my sheet of paper up because I want to make sure that I'm going over every single point. The next thing that I am doing is I am investing in my brokerage account. And I feel like this right here is what's going to take me over the edge and help me be able to retire before that 65 age. Because again, your girl, like 65 ain't looking cute for your girl at all, being that my mom passed at 59. So it's like I'm getting up into age. I'm 41 right now, and 59 is like, hey, if I was to pass away at 59 and you talking about retiring at 65, I wouldn't be able to experience it. And even when my dad experienced it at 65, 3 years later, he, at 68, let's just say, if he didn't retire until he got sick. But it's just the point that if you look at the age, my mom, she would have never experienced 65 because she didn't make it that long. My dad made it to 68, so he only enjoyed 3 of his retirement years according to the age that they are, actually given. I don't want to be like that. I want to be able to have so much money that whenever I want to, I can. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to have that as an option. Like, oh, okay, well, I can retire now if I really wanted to. If I had a certain amount of money, somewhere. But I can't do that right now. Again, I'm really just starting this out, and I feel like I'm a little behind, but it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna do anything. So with my brokerage account right now, currently I'm doing $1,000 into Fidelity. That's who I use for my brokerage account. I want to ramp that up to like $2,500 a month, but that all depends on how much money I make from my content, because I do use that money. Once I take out the taxes and put money aside for bills and expenses and stuff like that, I use the rest of that money to invest. I used to give myself some money, which I still do give myself a little bit amount of money, or whatever, but majority of that money is going towards the brokerage account. Because that is like my ultimate goal. I am trying to get there quicker than later. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly what I am doing there. And I'm investing into, like, I got a simple portfolio. It ain't nothing long and drawn out, because again, your girl is still learning these things, and I'm just figuring out my way. And yeah, that is what I'm doing. That's how I'm preparing for retirement at 41. Let me know down below. Are you preparing for retirement? Have you actually thought about it? Like, what are your plans when it comes to this? Like, am I the only one that has been thinking about it? Because I don't know. I really know that when my dad passed, I know that what really kind of like sparked it. But girl, I do not want to work for the rest of my life, or just work and then 3 years later I pass away. Like, I don't want that. Sooner than later, but we got to be doing things now in order for that to happen. But that's all for this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.